All right, guys. So I'm super excited for today's call. My friend Abby Park is going to be hosting for us, which you already know that. But I met Abby at the exact same place that I met Bailey at New Leader Conference. Um, is it like 2 years ago or 1 year ago?
2 years.
Oh
Wait,
my,
no, it was one.
I
Yeah.
think it was a little over a year ago. That's crazy. So we met there and we actually roomed together for the first night, and we literally just met each other in the New Leader Facebook group and totally hit it off. And I'm so glad that we did because we ended up hanging out all weekend. And if y'all know me, I'm kind of like an introvert and it's so hard for me to make friends. So it was so fun to have Abby and be able to like go through that whole weekend with her. So she is are you lifetime 2-star?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so she's lifetime 2-star. We were just talking about it. She used to live in Hawaii. Her husband is a pilot. He used to be in the Air Force, right? Yep. So
Yep.
he was a pilot in the Air Force, and they were in Hawaii for a while. And if you followed her on social media, then it was like the most gorgeous scenery you've ever seen every single day. I was so jealous. But they now live in Texas, so he's now a airline pilot now instead of being in the Air Force. So they have settled down in Texas, and he has a little boy named Miles, who is the cutest thing you've ever seen in your life. But she just has been killing it in her business, and I know that she can provide some really great insight to us. So she's going to talk about just continuing to show up when life gets crazy, because I know that is something that we all struggle with. So I know that it'll be super helpful. So you all take lots of notes.
Yeah. Get your pen and paper ready. I'm excited. So I have 3 page of notes myself, and usually you all have team calls where you have like all the pretty slides. That's just not me. They look like preschoolers made them. So I'm like, I'm going to keep my notes on my paper and just talk to you guys that way. So this is such a good topic because right now it's hard. Like life is hard. We're all having to adjust to just what's going on and, just rearrange our whole entire life. And it's easy to say, oh, I'll wait until this is past to show up later. And so I wanted to talk about just having a vision today. And if you think about it, any great leader has like a huge vision for their company or their team or whatever. And even the Bible says that like where there is no vision, people will perish. And so, you have to envision like, what is my life going to look like tomorrow? What is my life going to look like 5 years from now, 10 years from now? And you have to have that bold, bold, bold desire, right? To envision a different reality than you are living right now. And so, if you're thinking about your vision, you can't just write it down, put it on the shelf and forget about it. It's got to be something that you read about every day, something that you write down every day, see it every morning, see it every single night. And so what I want to start the call off with right now is a song, and I did this with my team probably a couple months ago. But I wanted you to think about like if there was no limit on money, if there was no limit on time, what would your life look like? What would it look like with your income, with your business, with your friends, your family, your relationships, giving back to the community? What would that look like? And I don't want you to worry about, how am I going to make this happen? Because then that's bringing in some negative energy and that's putting up resistance against your vision. And so I'm going to play a song. I want you to get into a place of just being like super, super excited and thinking about, what do you want your life to look like? Right? Like there's no limits on anything. There's no limit on money. There's no limit on time. And I want you to write down income, business, family, friends, free time. Do you want to be a 6-figure earner? Do you want to be in the top 10 at Beachbody for your business? Do you want your family to live in Florida on the beach or in California, or do you want to be in the mountains? What do you want to do with your free time? I love the beach. I want to be laying out on the beach every day. I want to wake up and I want to see the waves out, my back door. I want to see the sunrise. Like I want you to envision every little detail. And then, how are you going to get back to your community? So I wanted to play a song, and I wanted us just to write down all of our dreams, right? And so don't think about how you're gonna make it happen. Okay, we'll get to that later. But I want you just to listen to the song and just let it flow and figure out, what your goals are going to be. So let me see if this works and if you can hear it.
You're broken down and tired.
Okay, so get to
You're
writing.
living life on the merry-go-round. And you can't find your way out. But I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Ooh, mountain. We gon' walk it out and mountain. And I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, I like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. The silence is it quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Mountains, bring it to its feet. Mountains, and I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. All we need is hope, and for that we have each other, and for that we have each other, and we will rise, we will rise, we will rise. We'll rise. I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I will rise 1,000 times again, and we'll rise up. I like the waves. We'll rise up, in spite of the ache. We'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000 times again.
Woo! I get the chills every time I listen to that because it just gets me so fired up. I'm personally an Enneagram 7, so a lot of my goals are just to travel the world, have all the fun experiences, and part of that goes with, Brian's in the airlines, he flies to Southwest, and I tell him all the time, like, I'm going to retire you from the airlines, and he loves to fly, and I never want him to stay at home, like he cannot do that. But I want to have that availability to have enough income, for my business to be like, all right, you want to drop a trip and not fly? I'm like, all right, cool. Let's go travel the world, right? And so I want to be able to have that ability. So anyways, you wrote down all of your visions, that you want to have in different areas of your life. You have to read that every day because right now there's, life is crazy and sometimes you don't want to show up to work. But if you read this every day, it's going to get you fired up and it's going to you're going to want to work and to make it happen no matter what, right? And so I wanted to give you a few things to just help you work towards your goals. Let's see here. All right. So you may have just been saying, I'm just going to wait until this passes by to show up and hit Success Club or show up and help my coaches. But you can't, because right now, guys, we cannot miss a boat during this time. People are buying stuff right now. Gyms are closed. Like Beachbody has had their highest number ever on just like Beachbody on demand streaming. You guys probably watched Super Saturday last weekend. It's crazy, just the numbers of like challenge packs sold, streaming workouts, all the things. It's just crazy. People are needing us so bad. And so, Tiger King is still going to be here after this is all passed by. So if you catch yourself drinking your way through, alcohol consumption is up right now, which is purchasing alcohol. Tiger King, everybody's watching Tiger King, but all that stuff will be here after this is passed by. So right now is the time to show up and hit your goals. And you may not feel like it, but again, this is where that vision comes in. It's something that you're going to read every morning when you wake up before you work. It's something that you're going to read every night before you go to bed. And a lot of leaders are born out of like really challenging times. So you might have already seen this, but during the Great Recession, the WhatsApp, it was purchased for $19 billion 5 years after the Great Recession. It was born during the Great Recession. Venmo was born during the Great Recession. It was purchased for $26 million. Groupon was, born during the Great Recession. It's valued now at $726 million. IG, the platform that we all use to grow our business, it was sold for $1 billion 2 years after the Great Recession. Uber is valued at $47 billion. Pinterest, Slack, Square, all these amazing companies were born during the Great Recession, and look at them now. Like we could be saying Allison is a top coach 2 to 5 years from now, or Mallory is a top coach 2 to 5. So like, what is your vision? Now is the time to get to work, and to make that happen. If you're, hold on. So number one, have the vision. All great companies are visionaries. What's your 5-year vision from now? What's your 10-year vision from now? What is the thing that keeps you up at night that, makes you want to just, have that sense of urgency? We have to think about like, how can we get energized in the hands of people? Like energize is life. How can we get Shakeology in the hands of people? How can we get Beachbody on demand in the homes? Like all of our stuff is so amazing, and Beachbody has set us up for an incredible summer with mixed berry energize coming out, with salted caramel Shakeology, that new program. Like we have so much at the tip of our hands to get into the hands of people. And so make it an obsession to be like, how many people can I help today? How many people can I serve today, right? And so I want you, the second point is to carve out the time. I know whenever this all happened, we kind of had to readjust our schedule. I used to only work during Miles's nap time, but now I'm having to wake up at like 5 a.m. and get a couple hours of work done because Brian is home, Miles is home all the time, and I'm Enneagram 7, so that means I have fear of missing out. It's hard for me to be in my office working whenever they're outside. But again, I have this vision that I'm referring back to, like, okay, Abby, if you sacrifice now, you can be out there and play with them, in a couple years. And so carve out that time. So I'm waking up early before they are, so I don't have to miss all day with them. And I'm getting, work scheduled from like 5 to 7, and then I'll work out, and then I'll come back in the office and work a little bit more, and then I can have the rest of the day with them outside playing. And so make sure you're setting your business hours and not just winging, your life with everything. And then every day you just have to ask yourself, how can I be better the next day? Like what went wrong today? How can I be better tomorrow to make this goal happen? And number 3 is do the things that you would normally procrastinate on first thing in the morning. So I know for me, invites take the longest time, and they're the most income producing activities. If we do not invite to this business, or if we do not invite to our challenge groups, like no one's going to come up to us. Every now and then I'll get somebody that reaches out to me personally. All right, I'm ready to sign up. But most of the time my purchases come from invites. So make sure that you're getting those invites done first thing, because that's what's going to bring you income producing. That's an income producing activity. So for me, I'm having to look through all my Instagram story views and Facebook story views and Instagram posts. Like, that takes a while. And I like for my invites to be personal. So I'm not just copy and pasting. And so that it just takes a while, because I feel like when you put a personal touch to it, is a much more meaningful than just like a copy and paste send. So make sure you're doing those invites first thing in the morning or whenever you start your business hours to get it out of the way. Because I used to work, during Miles' nap time from like 2 to 4. And that is like when our cortisol level rises from 2 to 4, which means we're just tired. We don't feel like doing anything. That's kind of why it's called happy hour. And so I would used to do my invites, and I wasn't super, super successful during that time. So get your invites done first thing in the morning. And then if you're working in the afternoon, save that time for like follow-ups or following people or engaging. It's something that doesn't take a lot of thought, because just that afternoon slump really, really happens during, the 2 to 4 time frame. And there's science behind that. So number 5, surround yourself with visionaries, right? So podcasts, I know you guys probably know about Empower Her, and then Allison's about to start her own podcast, which is super exciting. Brendon Burchard's an amazing, podcaster. What newsletters are you reading? Are you in pods that are making you level up? I just got into a pod of a lot of people that are pushing for Elite this year, and it has made me level up. It's just like when you are surrounded by people that are slaying their business and accomplishing their goals, it makes you want to level up too. So surround yourself with people that are working and that are meeting the same goals that you're wanting to meet, or are a step above you, or not a step above you, but just a step ahead of you and meeting those goals, so you can surround yourself with those people. If our fear invests in time and like reading the news, that stuff is so negative. Stop, right? So just feed your mind with so much positivity, because it's just a scarcity time right now. And so I don't read anything. I know what to do to protect my family. And so I'm just feeding my brain with tons of podcasts, worship music, the things that are going to lift me up and keep me positive during this time to keep going. The number 6 thing is immerse yourself with stories of success. So Melanie Mitro, Lindsay Matway, they are not celebrities. They're just proof that we can do this too, right? They have put in the work. And every time I look at their stories or I see someone that's accomplished the goal, I'm like, all right, they can do it. Why not me, right? And so I have to remind myself too. I'm like, all right, I want to be a 6-figure earner. I want to retire Brown from the airlines. I want to beach house one day. Am I doing activities in my business that are matching, what those goals require, right? So if I get out my business activity tracker that Beachbody, provides for us, and it says send 5 invites, that is not going to get me to be a 6-figure earner, or that's not going to get me. So you have to kind of double down and 10x your step on whatever your goals may be. If it's Success Club 6, great, do the business activity tracker. But if you want Success Club 20 higher, make a 6-figure income, you've got to follow tons more people. You've got to, engage with, if you want engagement, you got to engage more, right? And so you just have to increase those activities 10 times to get where you want to be. And so, right now it's just, you can give up or you can use this time to get better. And it's like, who are you going to be on the other side of this crisis that we're all going in, And so it's just such a good time. I don't have more time now. I feel like I have less because, Brian's home and Miles' home is all the time. I would used to use Miles' school time to build my business, but I'm just having to really, and I feel like I'm becoming a better leader just because I'm forced to right now during this crisis. So anyways, that's kind of all I have for right now. Are there any questions or anything that you have to say? Yes, that's so true. Do my actions match the goals that I say I want to achieve?
Yes.
Love that.
That was so good, Abby. If you guys have any questions, just unmute yourself and we will kind of make it like a Q&A, just a little chat session for a little while and talk about anything, really.
I'm an open book if you guys have any questions.
Those are all really, really good tips, and something that, so I I did a vision board this year for the first time because I, for the last like 3 years, had told myself I'm going to do a vision board, even like bought the stuff and then still never did it. But I like made myself do it this year, and it is right here above where I'm sitting up there beside my computer. And it's kind of crazy because there's 2 things on that are coming true right now. And it is starting my podcast and starting my own website or blog, website, whatever you want to call it. So I am working on both of those things right now. And also just like, it's just a reminder every single day of the things that I'm working towards and like why I want to work so hard. So like, write out your vision, you guys. Like Abby said, like, put on your favorite music, close the door to your office, like, get centered with yourself and just think about, like, what do I want? And why do I want to do this? Because that's what's going to keep you going even when life gets crazy. Because life is going to happen. Life's going to get crazy. Like, things are going to come up in your day to day that are so out of your control. But if you can start your day by reading the vision that you wrote out and also like having your vision board right there beside your workspace, like that is going to keep you motivated. It's going to keep you focused, and it's going to remind you like, okay, I really don't want to sit down and like message these girls back right now. I really don't want to do these follow-ups, or I really don't want to do X, whatever it is that you're not wanting to do. But when you have that vision board right there in front of you, it's so hard to walk away. Like, it's because it's right there, and it's like, hey, this is what I say that I want. Are the actions that I'm putting in every day matching what I say that I actually want to achieve? Because maybe they don't. Maybe there's a disconnect there, and maybe you need to reevaluate, because you say that you want this goal of being a 6-figure earner, but are you actually willing to put in the work that it takes to become a 6-figure earner? So maybe you just need to reevaluate and see like, okay, what am I willing to sacrifice today to get where I want to go? Because maybe that doesn't align with that big, huge goal that I set. And that's okay. We just have to make sure that our actions and what we say that we want line up with each other and are actually going to get us there. That makes sense.
Yeah. Another big thing too is you probably hear all the time about personal development. It really, really is like the key to keep you going too, because there's going to be days where you just feel like you're in a funk and you just cannot get out of it. And I will say, just by investing in personal development and doing that in the morning too. I mean, every morning I have this routine where I wake up, fix my Energize, I do my devotional, I do my personal development, I write down my 10 goals, you know, and then also have this meditation that just started. It's amazing. It's 10 minutes long, and it helps you focus on that goal that you want to achieve, and it walks you through this. So just starting out your work day just on fire, right? And just having that vision, but also just that personal development to pour that, you know, belief into you, like, okay, I can do this, right? Like, I'm no different than the person next to me. And, you know, right now I'm reading You Are a Badass for the second time in a row, because it just gets me fired up. And another book, I don't know if you guys have read it. Where is it? Well, it used to be right here. It's called Figure Outable by Marie. Oh, here we go.
Everything is figure outable. It's amazing.
Yes, I read this beginning of this year. This right here, and I think I might read it again, is so good. I think I highlighted almost the entire book. But it just, these kind of books like really, you know, pour that belief into you. And I love Rachel Hollis and her Girl Wash Your Face, but I feel like it's very surface level. But stuff like this and, you know, You Are a Badass, I mean, it just pours that belief into you and gets you in a really, really good mindset to just know, like, I can make these dreams happen. Why not? You know, and but again, it goes back to those actions of doing this every day. And, you know, Beachbody is just built on consistency. You know, you can't expect to do just your tracker one day and be like, all right, where is everybody? You know, you can't have that mindset. Like, it's something that you have to keep doing over and over and over and over again, and you can't stop. I mean, it's consistency is the compound effect, right? Like, you know, the actions you do today are probably going to reap rewards like in 3 to 4 months from now, right? But you have to just keep showing up and keep being consistent, because, you know, with businesses, we come out with these new launches all the time. People are not going to trust you if you're not showing up right now. When you come out and like maybe like, oh, new Energize, or, you know, in July, oh, new program, but you haven't been showing up for the past 3 months, they're not going to trust you, right? They're going to go to the person that's been showing up and has been staying consistent over and over and over again. So you have to show up every single day and just be consistent and provide value and love on people. I know when I was kind of getting on topic, but when I do my challenge group invites and they tell me no, I always leave them with value. I'm like, all right, great. Right now, everybody is snacking. Let me give you a healthy snack guide, and then I'll just leave them with snacks. So leave people with value, because it's just an extra step. It's going out of your way, something you don't have to do, but it's something that people are going to remember you for. Like, oh, Abby gave me a snack guide back in March. I'm kind of wanting to get started on health and fitness journey, and then maybe they'll come to me, but maybe not, right? Like, I'm just giving it out of love. Like, I'm not giving it to hoping that they'll come back to me, but just really just serving from your heart. And, because that's where I think the magic happens, is when you give with no expectation of return. Just to show up, love on people, and to give value. You hear all the time, it's like, give, and then you can ask, right? So the main thing is just stay consistent, have that mindset that you do have what it takes, but you really have to believe it, with all your heart. So.
Yeah. And I love what you said about doing personal development first thing, because that's what I do. And I'm a firm believer in that too, because however you start your day is the best that you're going to be that day. Like, the things that you do first thing when you wake up, that is the best you for the entire day, because the rest of the day is kind of out of your control. But like your morning routine and your evening routine before you go to bed, bookending your day, like those are two things that you can control for the most part. Like, you have kids, I know necessarily that's not true, but like you can do the best you can to like wake up before Miles gets up, to or after Miles goes to bed. Like, this is what I do. And just like having that consistency and knowing that it's like a non-negotiable. Like, I don't negotiate with myself over whether I'm going to do my morning routine or I'm not. Like, I've been doing it for so long that's what I do. And it's the same thing with my workouts. Like, I don't negotiate with myself whether or not I'm going to work out. If it's a Wednesday, am I going to work out today or not? Yes, I am, because I always work out on Wednesday. Like, the only time in the week that I might negotiate with myself is on the weekend, if I'm following a program that doesn't have a Saturday workout. But for the most part, like, my body is just so used to doing that it's not even a question in my mind. Like, it's just a given that that's what I'm going to do. And we have to, like, my goal just to like fill you in a little bit, Abby. So we are doing, like, I call it a push mentorship with my girls for the last month. This is technically like we're going into our last week of it. And it was just focused on like getting consistent and showing up and just like doing the business activities every single day and getting super consistent to where they become a habit. And it's just like part of what you do every day. And they have been doing amazing. But this, like, I wanted the business activities of just like connecting with people, engaging with new people, finding new people to follow, showing up and posting on your stories every day, posting on your feed every day. Like, I wanted those to become things that were just like, I don't negotiate with myself over whether I'm going to do it or not. I just do it because that's just what I do. Because that is when you really find like the consistency that it takes to build this business, and also like really finding the joy in it, to where it's not like, oh, am I going to do this today or not? I don't know. It's just like, yes, like, I'm a coach. This is what I do. This is how I show up for other people, and I'm going to do it every day, no matter how I'm feeling.
Right.
So it's been working really good, and I think they've all been like absolutely killing it. Like, the things they've been struggling with, like either whether it was posting every day or inviting or whatever, like it's just been like, I've just seen like small improvements every single week. And then like this past week, everybody turned in their trackers and they were all filled out. Like, nobody had any empty spaces in their tracker, and it was like incredible. And so like I told them, I was like, this is what we were going for. Like, this was our goal with this group, was to get this consistency. And like I told him, I said, I can feel the momentum building in our team, because you're doing the things every day, and the things that we are doing right now, like you said, are going to pay off like in the next 6 to 8 to 12 weeks from now. Like, you just have to keep showing up and remind yourself that this is not an instant gratification business. and that the
Yeah.
things in life that are really worth having require more work, and you're not necessarily gonna reap the benefits right then. So I think,
Right.
yeah.
I love that, because even just being consistent like that builds your confidence too. It's just doing the things that you say you're going to do. And when you check off all those boxes, gosh, that feels like so incredible. You're like, I did it. I completed the tracker, you know? And so it's just that one day that you don't do it, your confidence goes down a little bit, you know, and then another day you don't complete it, it goes down. So just by staying consistent and doing the things that you say you're going to do, it just builds confidence and momentum. And it's all just like a win-win when you just get the things done that you say you're gonna do. And right, like make it a non-negotiable, like, yes, I'm gonna work out today, right? Just like, yes, I'm gonna brush my teeth today, you know? And it's just the same thing with your health and fitness journey. When you show up and you eat healthy and you work out, like you're gonna see results, right? And the more you eat healthy, the more you work out, you're gonna see better results. Same thing with just business too. So, you know, it just kind of goes hand in hand. So I love all that. So you sound like you should have a podcast or something, Allison. I love all your little your encouragement this morning. It's great.
I'm super excited about it. I'm nervous still. I haven't started recording anything yet, so I'm gonna try to like practice recording a little bit of stuff today. So we will see how it goes.
Yeah. You're gonna do so good. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Do you have any questions or any like just thoughts? If you had any kind of like aha moments, or does anybody want to like share their vision with us? Anybody want to like step out their comfort zone and put it out there to the world?
I'd love to hear some.
Me too.
I'm gonna find that meditation really quick.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
Well, I think one thing that I just needed to hear today was about, like basically the seeds we're planting now are for the flowers for later. Like we are doing things now that we'll get in 6 to 8 weeks, because sometimes it's hard when you do show up every day and you're still barren, like you do things all the time. And so it's just shifting that mindset from it's not immediate. Like I'm doing things now that will help me later, whether it be like I'm posting now to encourage girls to join me later, or I'm working now so that on my list, what do I have? I can own a lake house later,
Exactly.
So, and I'm kind of like Allison too, like my vision board, I made a vision board. I have it on my phone, and I posted on Instagram, and I actually have one of mine done. Like I have that goal. I'm trying to find it real quick. So I did just kind of like little symbols that just meant something to me. So where is it? Here it is. Okay. If you all can see it, so there's my little vision board that I put on my Instagram. So this hibiscus flower was because I wanted to buy a house in the hibiscus neighborhood here in Winchester. And that's the house I'm living in right now. Like Alex and I bought that house, and like this was our dream neighborhood to be in. And thanks to Corona, we're not going to get to go to Destin this year, but thanks, Corona. But, that vision board kind of helped me look at, okay, this is why I'm doing this. This is so that we can get the house we want and we can have the time we want.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness, speaking of time, here's my heat.
I love that though. It's so cool, and it's so like crazy to think about the things that are on your vision board that you didn't even realize like you were actually making them come true. And
yeah,
same for me, like with the podcast and with the website that I'm working on, like those things are on my vision board, and they were things that I was writing down in my Start Today journal. And a year ago,
What is a health coach?
sorry,
There is a huge.
I put in the that link to that meditation so I wouldn't lose it. It started playing. So those things, when I was writing them down a year ago, felt like so far off. Like they felt so out of reach, and things that was like, oh, I don't know how I'm ever going to do that. Like I said that's what I want to do, but I just don't know how to begin. But then it's like you just figure it out along the way. And like things, when you're writing, it's crazy. Like think about it. I'm just now realizing this, but like when you're writing that down every day, things are going to start coming into your life to help you achieve that. So like I'd been writing down for a year or longer that I have my own podcast, but I never like took the action to start doing it because I didn't know where to begin. And it's just like I knew if I just Googled how to start a podcast, like I wouldn't even know where to start. Like there would be too much information. So then I joined the Collective, which is Keisha Fitzgerald's like personal development community. I joined the Collective finally after I'd put it off for like 3 months, like knowing I wanted to do it. I finally jumped in and did it. And the next week, she launches a podcasting course. It's just like everything just like fell into my lap and fell into place, and was like, okay, I know this is what I'm supposed to do. And then also like so this is like my equipment for recording, and I got it on Amazon. It's like 2 separate pieces, and this piece was supposed to be here like within the week that I ordered it. This piece was not supposed to get here until like May 5th. And so we were supposed to be launching our podcast the first week of May is the goal. And this piece wasn't supposed to be here until the first week of May. So I was like, I don't know if I'm even going to be able to launch it when I want to, like everything. They both got here on the same day, like
Wow.
after I worked it. So I was like, this is like solidifying the fact that like this is what I'm supposed to do. So like writing it down, reading it every day, writing it down every day, looking at your vision board every day, like what you seek, you will find. So whatever you're looking for in your life, you will find it. If you are focusing on how things are hard right now, that you just don't have the time, that showing up is just like too hard, like then that's what your brain is going to look for to justify that your thoughts are true. Like your brain is going to look for things that are going to like say, yep, you're right. So switch your thinking to like, this is an opportunity. Like this is the time where I need to be going all in on my dreams, because maybe things are crazy right now and maybe I don't have as much time as the next person, but it's still the time that I go all in and stop making excuses and just really go for it. And then I'm going to be successful. Like tell yourself, I'm going to be successful. I'm going to achieve this goal. And your brain will start to find things to make that true. And perspective and choosing what you focus on. So cute. I'm glad. Thanks for sharing that, Sam. I'm glad you did. And I'm glad that y'all are. So, does anybody else want to share?
Do you have goals? What's your vision board? Hers is full of Peppa Pig and Paw Patrol. So, vision board and snacks.
One thing I noticed, like when I was writing down my visions, is like they're for what I want to give to everybody else. And like, you know, I want all of our debt to be paid off. You know, I want our RV paid off. I want my husband not to have to work so much. I want my future kids to be happy. You know, I want us to be in a financial spot where we're not worrying about, you know, if we can purchase this or we can purchase this. I want my husband to be happy. And like hearing all of you guys, I was like, I don't have that like lake house. I don't have that peace. It's how Beachbody can help me help everybody else. Does that make sense? And like, that's just how I've always been. I struggle, like Christy knows I struggle with this because I want to make everybody happy. And I think I really need to, like, all this stuff drives me so much to show up every day because, you know, there are families, they're what is helping, you know, there are core, you know, but I need to find that thing, you know, that tangible, objective thing that just pushes me that one extra step further that I can actually see come, you know, to fruition. So I just noticed that about me, and I just thought that was interesting because I don't have a lake house on my list. I don't have a
I mean, everyone has different likes, and that just what is your Enneagram number? Do you know? Yeah.
I need to do that.
That's actually a really helpful tool because you can find ways to help you overcome your weaknesses or magnify your strengths and all that kind of stuff. And if you follow Enneagram and Coffee, that's kind of a funny account to follow. But
Okay.
But for me, like that is my stuff because I'm an Enneagram 7, so I love to have fun. I love to have all the adventures, like all the things that make life fun. And so that's a lot of my vision, a lot of my goals. But that may not be you. You may be a homebody and you may never want to go travel the world, and that's fine. So it's just, yeah, I mean, look at your vision every day and just if there is something that makes you, I mean, and you probably didn't get it all out today, but just keep thinking about it and be like, all right, what's that one thing for me? You know, because, but then again, you may be a giver and you just want to give it away. I mean, but that's not me personally. So it's totally fine if that is you. I mean, everyone ticks differently. So.
I think that's what drew you to coaching so much and like helped you so quickly. Like just to give you, I'll give you a little background on Christy Abby. This is her 3rd month in Success Club, so she is started this month. So like I think that like servant leadership part of you is what is helping you to be so successful because you are focusing on like helping other people, and that's what this business is about. So I definitely think those are perfectly fine goals to have, that because that is just like where your heart is. And that's like you helping other people is what makes you happy and what brings you joy. So there's nothing wrong with that. But I do also try to think about something that is like just for you, because like you do have that servant heart and you want to help other people, but like don't forget about yourself too. And like thinking about you and having something that is like just for you doesn't have to take away from what you're doing for other people, but it just can be something that's like just for you and yourself, and might even drive you like just that much further.
Right. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're right. It's that social worker that's in me, that I just want to help and love everybody.
And that's perfect. I mean, you're in the right business, right? I mean, and I think that will take you so far because I love helping others, don't get me wrong, but that's not on the top, like the forefront of my mind, if that makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
it is, but like my son and even Brian, I mean, they just think about others first before they think about themselves. That's not so I think that's perfect. I mean, use that to your advantage too. So
I'm gonna go with Enneagram 2 for her. That's what I'm gonna guess is a 2.
I'll have to go do this because I don't even I've heard about it. I just have never done it. So I'll have to go do it.
I'm a 1.
you're fine.
It all day long. I'm a 1 wing 9, actually. So I have some qualities of a 9. But if y'all haven't done it, you definitely need to do it. Just Google free Enneagram test and you can take it. And then there's like hundreds of Enneagram accounts on Instagram that you can follow. And they're so cool. But it's just I think it's so interesting because it's like so spot on. Like they'll share stuff about like Enneagram 1's quarantine house. Like what's she doing right now? And it's like, yep, that's exactly what I'm doing. And it's just crazy. And it, like Abby said, like it really gives you some insight into like what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. And it might be things that you didn't really even think about, or it might be things that you used to like really beat yourself up over, like things that you always struggle with. And you're like, oh, I'm just like, I don't know why I struggle with this so much. Like, I don't understand why I can't be like so-and-so and like be more organized or like whatever it is. But then when you realize like that's just part of your personality and who you are, then you can give yourself more grace and just be like, okay, I'm very critical. Like that is a thing for Enneagram 1s, is that they're very critical of themselves. They're very critical of others. Like we just have like this high standard. And now it's like that when I know that, it's like, okay, I can give myself more grace because I know I'm more critical of myself than probably Abby is critical of herself as an Enneagram 7. Like you can be like, okay, this is just my Enneagram 1 coming out. Like I need to chill out. It's okay. Like I'm not a failure. I can still do this. Like it's like really good reminders like that.
Yeah.
And I would, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to go off of, I mean, Allison is probably uber organized. Like she's got her color code, her tracking system, all the things. But I'm a 7, I'm a squirrel brain. That is like not organized at all. I mean, you guys like, I can't show my desk now because it's clean, but it usually is not. And I know that about me. And so one of the tips for the Enneagram 7 is like focus on one thing, because I'm a squirrel brain. I want to be doing all the things. It's like, I know for me to get organized and actually accomplish stuff, I need to focus on one thing, right? And so it's so good to take that test, because it really does give you a good insight on how to help you, and also as you're building your teams, which I know some of my teams Enneagram, but it helps me figure out how to make them be successful and what makes them tick, and it's just a good tool all around. It's probably my favorite personality test ever. And it's awesome.
Yeah, and I was going to say, make your husband take it too, because I made Alex take it, and I'm a 2 and he's a 9. And so like we're kind of similar. Like I'm a helper and he's a protector. So it's like we try to help people and each other just in different ways. Like I do it to serve and he does it to protect. And sometimes it's like,
Yeah.
so it's nice to know why, okay, that's why you're doing this that I think is weird or I think is not helpful, but okay, I understand where you're coming from because you know that about me now. So
like research and do like, okay, relationships between a 2 and a 9. Like what are they gonna complement each other with, and what are they going to like disagree on? And it can really help you figure out like, and it's also kind of like the love languages. Like if I know that his love language is like quality time, but all I'm doing is like doing things for him, like acts of service, then it's gonna be the same. Like he's not gonna see it as that. But if he also in the reverse, if he knows that like my love language is acts of service, so in me like doing things for him, that's me showing him love, then he can like recognize it. Like it's not necessarily gonna mean like that's what he needs, but he can at least recognize like, okay, she's doing this because she loves me and I need to appreciate it. And like it works the same way with the Enneagram stuff. It's really cool. That's my favorite. The love languages in the Enneagram. Well, does anybody have any other last minute questions? We got about 10 minutes left. If we want to use it, or if we're done, we can wrap it up. Totally up to y'all.
I think everything you said was gold. So it definitely gave me things to think about for this upcoming week. And I think, like we have talked always, is just setting business hours is going to be something that's going to be huge for us. And where I'm in school right now, it's super hard to, like, where my focus has to be both. And, like, right now is, like, term time. So, like, my papers are super, like, everything's super hot and heavy right now in school. And so, like, this week I've been like doing a lot in the mornings and then like catching up late at night. And so like just trying to find that one specific time. And when you say, this is non-negotiable. This time's my time regardless of what else I have to get done. Like this is it. So I think that's something I'm going to try to work on this week and just see if I can get it to come true, to work.
Something I struggle with too, and something I've been trying really hard. Like I have been having an hour before I work out in the mornings to do my like finding new people to follow, engaging with people, and then like basically just clearing out my inbox. I will set three timers. I do 25 minutes of adding new followers, and what I will do is just like go to their page. If it looks like somebody that I could be friends with, I follow them and then bookmark them to my collections. And then the next timer I set is 25 minutes for engaging with people. So then I will just go back to my saved collections and go through and go to each person and like a few of their photos and comment on 1 or 2 of them, and then like move on. So I do that for 25 minutes, and then I do a 10-minute timer just to like clear out my inbox and make sure I've gotten back to everybody that I need to. And then I work out. And that has like helped me so much over the last couple weeks because it makes me feel like I have accomplished something in my business before my like craziness of the day begins. And I've also gone, like it's really helped to build my following in the last couple weeks. Like I've gone from, I think I had around, let's see if it'll load. Not one to load. So I had around like 2,650-ish followers like at the beginning of last week, and now I'm at 2692. So I've gotten like about 50 new followers, which like isn't a ton, but like for me, where I had kind of been stuck at that same number for a really long time and like my page wasn't growing, like I've been like very impressed that I have grown that much in the last just like 10 days. So that's something.
Consistency, you keep doing that, like that's going to compound into, you could be at 10,000 by the end of the year if you just keep doing it, you know, every day.
And what I love about it is it's like organic. Like it's actually people who I want to see their stuff and I want to like build a relationship with them. Like, yeah, I'm getting some people to my page who like are already coaches, or maybe they like have bigger followings already or like whatever. But I'm still also like, if somebody comes and follows me who I think like kind of freaks me out, like they have no business following me, I just block them and go like, and so I feel like I really am building like a following that is organic and actually interested in like what I am putting out there. So something to think about.
Yeah.
But no, this has been great. So I do want to give you guys a little bit of homework to do for next week, just after this call. So make sure if you need to, if you want to sit down and spend some more time working on your vision, please do that. And I'm going to make a thread in our team page and have a place where we can all kind of share our vision, because I think putting it out there to the universe is super powerful, because like I said, what you seek, you will find. So I think putting it out there is the first step in actually starting to create that life. And then I also want everybody to go take the Enneagram test, and we're all going to share our results and we can start talking about that a little bit more. So that's our homework. And I'm also going to post the recording, and Abby, I'll share it with you too if you want to share it with your team. So
yes, that would be great. Thank you.
Awesome. Yes, thank you so much for coming on and talking to us. And
Thank you for having me.
So if you ever are doing team calls for your girls and you need somebody to come speak, just let me know. I
will. You'll be on it. Thank you, Allison.
Picture. Hang on.
Oh yeah.
I want to do a picture.
Yeah, tag me.
And probably a boomerang too.
Is this the picture or the boomerang?
Which one?
Picture. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, let me save it. All right, this is the boomerang. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hang on, do it again.
Okay.
I couldn't see everybody. Okay, 1, 2, 3. That was good. All right. I will share this and tag and do all the things. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, bye.